Like, what is over here?
Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing well.
What area you in?
Doing well.
Yeah, what area you in?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
And what about you?
Oh, I'm in Africa now.
What part?
I'm in Africa now. Africa.
I know. What part of Africa?
Eastern Africa, Eastern.
Okay. Can I get a city? What's the city?
Ah, it's you. Maybe Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, a certain country called Tanzania, Dar es Salaam.
I like to know. I like to know these things in case I get a chance to get over there. Um,
Have you ever come across Mount Kilimanjaro, maybe?
I've heard of it, but I've never been there. I have a friend that actually climbed. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
then you're welcome. I'll take you there for the tour.
Okay, good to know. Now, how do you pronounce your name?
Oh, trigger,
Al Trigger.
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 Say
Al Trigger.
not oh trigger, it's trigger.
Trigger.
Yeah, trigger.
Right?
Yeah.
Trigger. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad we finally are doing this, right?
Okay. What was it like working with Lil Nas X?
Oh, you just dive right on in. It was enlightening, and it was just a beautiful transformation that I believe we both made.
Yeah.
My job was really to help him to navigate, the new space of, this stage and performance, and to give him the tools to get in flight. And so, I always say that my sweet spot is that I help you get out of the blocks from a cold start. I always run the first leg and then I pass the baton. And so I am just, beaming with joy as I watch him just soar at this moment. And so I'm grateful to have been a part of his process and the team, because everyone's contributions mattered, and so
Yeah.
yeah, it was one of the best learning experiences, as well as rewarding experiences that I've had as a performance director.
Ah, wow, that's great. That's great. It's KJ Rose. I've been seeing your movement. I've been seeing your movement. So, can you share with us briefly journey of your career, where you started and how it went to you became who you are right now?
You want me to do that in like 3 minutes? I'll give you a brief, just kind of like synopsis of the journey. But, from Chicago, loved performing and singing with ensembles, but had a stage fright. And then went to Florida A&M. I'm skipping over things, but I sang in the choir in Chicago, and I loved dancing. And there was something about my energy that I had not yet honed
Yeah.
in on. I just knew that there was something, that was drawing me to stage, and that really I had not identified as a force of mine at the time. But then I attended Florida A&M University, and it was there that I really began to cultivate this thing called singing and performing, and not on my own volition. It was because, my FAMU BFFs would encourage me. My sorority Delta Sigma Theta would encourage me. And so I started realizing that, okay, maybe this is a thing, and let me continue to move in it, because I enjoyed singing, but it did not constitute an entire career at my, just kind of at the level that I was on, because I was still developing and still learning, and come from a very kind of pragmatic city in Chicago where it's, you know, you go to grammar school, you go to high school, you go to college, you get your degree, and then, you know, you keep it moving, and get to 9 to 5, right? And so, but being in New York, I saw so many possibilities of what could be. And I'd like to say that, you know, in addition to my brother being kind of, and my sister being like the real forces behind me, you know, then it became, you know, management, like people like Big John Platt, that saw something in me, and that, you know, so it really, these pieces kept kind of aligning themselves with this thing. Like, so I verbally was manifesting, I want to be a performer, even though internally I knew I had the stage fright, and I knew I had to combat it and fight it, right? But a lot of times the fear wins because we're not combating with new messaging or new narratives, you know? So even despite feeling like this, I'm like, but I'm still going to do this. I still need to be this. I still have something to give. I still have a gift. And then fast forward, I have a chance meeting. Well, before that, I'm doing open mics, you know, with Carl Thomas. Daddy's house, Diddy's studio was right next door. So a lot of the singers will come and perform at the Blue Angel. And so it was Faith Evans and Kelly and Ron Grant and Carl Thomas. And so he would really encourage me to get on stage. I would always sing Anita Baker. And then after that, I had a chance meeting with Kelly Price. I don't even think I met her at that moment. And I was introduced to her by a friend named Eric Payton, and he said, you know, I just want you to come and meet one of my girls. Now, he didn't even tell me who was in the studio. And so there's something to just showing up and staying hungry, right? You may not always be able to out-sing the next person or outperform the next person, but figure out what you are great at, right? I know you're not going to outwork me, and I know that I'll always show up, right? I've got a tenacious spirit. So those are the strengths that I accessed very early on. And so showed up a week later. Kelly said, do you want to go on tour with Puff? I ended up on tour with Puff. From there, I went back to my 9-to-5 job at Pfizer because my fear had not yet completely dissipated. And so then from there, I worked another 2 years in corporate America, but still, you know, by day, you know, in executive compensation, and by night singing in some club in the studio with somebody, with a Dwayne Bastiani, with a Jordan. And so these producers, No ID and Extreme and Andy C, were really instrumental, and Jermaine and my brother were instrumental in pushing me and giving me that win and that encouragement that I needed. And then I got to a point where I said, I'm not giving 100% to any one thing, right? Like, it's hard to see results in a thing when you are diversifying the thing, right? I'm not really giving my fullness into performing, but I'm expecting full results. And so I decided it was time to go, and I left corporate America. And within that 2 weeks where I'd given my notice that I was going to be leaving, I got a call by a girl named Jana, who called and said, Puff is going overseas. Do you want to go with him? Now, there is something to, you know, I felt like God was saying to me, do you believe in yourself enough to take a chance on you before you ask everybody else to take a chance, right? Have you pre-approved this gift that I gave you before you ask everybody else what they think about it, before you ask your focus group what they think about it? And so I think that I was able to show that when I got that call, when I gave my notice, and then and just trusted that I was going to work my butt off. I did not give my notice with something else confirmed. And then I ended up in Europe with Puff. And then after Puff, Carl Thomas's album took off. And I think we sang I Wish, you know, thousands of times. And I loved doing it because he helped me get stronger, and he helped me gain a confidence that was impenetrable. And then from Carl Thomas, did you want to ask me something? Because you know I can go on.
I like it. I really like it. Yeah. Then currently, great. You're rocking big and giant companies in entertainment industry. Speaking of Amazon, Pandora, Google. Damn, how do you manage yours? Is there any difficulties or challenges on this?
You know what? I don't think I've encountered you know, any difficult challenges. I think that if there's something to be said for just the development and the growth of it, is making sure that I am always leaving people off better than before they got to me. And so that is a desire that and a goal that I have before every presentation, before every performance. But I would say that it was the seeds that were planted long before I got there. You know, the seeds that, you know, were the singing on Heavy D's album, singing on Big's album, AZ, 𝒓𝒊𝒈𝒉𝒕, working with Common, like all of those guys, whether they knew it or not, singing, you know, behind KRS-One at one point. All of those guys were simply instrumental in pushing me forward, because with every new experience and with every opportunity and every yes, I got better, right? Because you can have an opportunity as big as Amazon, but not think that you can actually feel the assignment because you don't feel like you're ready, right? So I say yes to all the things, and nothing is too small and too grand, because each of them help me to just gain new perspective on what I'm capable of. It helps to push my edge when maybe I thought that my edge was a little closer, but there's more capacity. And so I would say that if there was a challenge, it's making sure that I, number one, continue to push the kingdom forward in everything that I do. And being clear and being intentional about that. And then also, because I care, you know, how people see themselves, right? So sometimes it's a heavy lift, but I often tell people, I don't give you anything that you don't already possess. That is not my job, right? That is another title for another professional. My job is to help push you beyond your perceived capacity, your comfort zone. And it's also to irritate areas that you may not have known even existed, or areas that you have left unserviced. That is my job. My job is to help you, you know, like excavate strengths and assets that just have merely been just lying there. And I would call myself an irritant in the best way. So I love it. I believe that has been my lot. I believe that that energy is my force. And I want to make sure that people know that what they have is enough, and that they are necessary, and that their dopeness counts. And that when they are performing, and no matter the space, that they are making sure that the conversation, which exists merely in their storytelling, is what informs the performance, not the other way around. So when you are able to tell your story, even the places that you have unresolved, the spaces that, you know, may still be unhealed, but when you can tell it, when you can embrace it in a way that it cannot be hijacked, that is when you're fully living in your truth, nobody else's, right? Because you'll stop comparing yourself to other people. You'll stop trying to get the focus group to agree with what the vision was that God already gave you, but he never gave to anybody else. And you'll move forward, and you'll push your own edge every time. That was a lot, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got it. Then again, I would like to know, is it passion in music or profession in business and management that drive you to work with different artists as the performance director?
Say it one more time. Is it the passion?
I said, I'd like to know, is it the passion in music or profession in business and management that drive you to work with different artists or as their performance director?
It's my passion for people. You know, the music is just the expression that one uses, but I also work with, you know, corporate executives. I work with medical artists. I work with educational artists. So I deem that we're all artists. So it is my desire to make sure that people are fully maximizing and embracing all the parts of themselves, because I think that if you can move forward in the fullness of who you are, then you'll actually project that, and then you'll be able to be let me go back. If you can move forward and project the fullness and the confidence and the courage of everything you are, it makes you a kinder person. It makes you a more giving and generous person. And, you know, imagine if we all walked around feeling generous and feeling loved and feeling kind. You know, that's accessing every part of you and not denying it.
Yeah. And I swear your artists are doing well, and congrats for the great job. We're seeing Lil Nas X is growing bigger every day, winning awards, putting out hits, topping the charts, and setting out bigger arenas. What's the secret behind all this success? You, as a performing director of Lil Nas X.
Say that one more time. Yes, I was performance director. Yeah, we worked together for about 2.5 years. But you know, again, my job is to make sure that you no longer ask permission. You no longer ask permission to be who God created you to be. You just live it and you be it and you rock it. And as you know, his first coach, it is such a joy to see him like not leaving anything on the stage, no crumbs. He is leaving it all. I mean, he is taking it all. And so I love watching it. I love watching it unfold. I love that I was a part of it. And he is still only scratched a little bit of the surface. There's so much more. It's meteoric where he's going. And so, yeah, I love watching it, you know, but I also love, you know, watching the rise of 24K Golden and Ian Dior and Kent Leroy and Lil TJ and the Lumineers and Erica Campbell and Justine Skye, you know, and Ruby Rose. And so I have been, you know, given the opportunity to just be trusted with the gifts of so many artists. And I don't take it for granted, you know? So I love it.
So you said you were working with Lil Nas X, but on your bio, still wrote that you are a performance director of Lil Nas X, 24 Garden, Lil TJ,
Polo G,
Polo G, but you said you were working, so the bio doesn't differentiate the past and now. Because if someone visits your account, your IG page, will know that currently you're still a performance director of Lil Nas X. But you say you are.
No, I mean, well, you know, the time span, you know, over, you know, 2.5 years. That is, you know, so at this point, the task has been completed. You know, my job was to lift him, to get him to a point where he could, you know, truly just soar and be the rocket and be the Montero we all knew that he could be. So yeah, that's the task has been completed. The assignment is done. And so yeah. They will forever be my babies.
Okay,
but he's no longer, you know, he's graduated from the Rose effect for sure.
Then a baby from mother never grows.
Right. Exactly. You know, and that's the thing. It's like if you build a business that requires people to be dependent forever, then, you know, it's not, I don't think it's a strong business, you know.
Of course.
For me, let me speak specifically for the job that I do. You know, the job of helping people to occupy their space and giving them the tools that they need to really tell a story in such a compelling way. You know, it's like, I can't see if the work is working if you ain't out there working. So that is, that's a win. That's a win for both of us. You know, I'm glad that the task was attacked, it was approached, it was embraced, and now it is done.
Of course, then I can say that you did it on point. Just to give you 100. Of course. Then how did you control the pressure of working with these big artists, especially Lil Nas X, who is a trendsetter? Are you getting any tough times to manage him, and how do you take all the negativity that is getting from people?
How do I take on the negativity that he gets from people?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
My first, you know, mode of defense is always to, you know, have a rebuttal of sorts, you know, in his defense and to protect him But I do believe that when you are crossing and discovering and exploring new ground, it is always uncomfortable. Number one, it's uncomfortable for the artist because it's new territory. So it's definitely uncomfortable for people that don't understand. But it was, you know, when God gives you a message, it's specifically for you. It's not for anybody else. So I think he's reached a point where the negativity just fuels him. And, you know, and I don't hear it anymore. I mean, it's there, but I don't hear it anymore because I know where we started and I know where he is and where he has yet to even attempted. And so, yeah, I don't see any of that negativity anymore. Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah. I mean, not to say it doesn't exist, but I don't think that that is where our energy is focused. You know, whatever you focus on expands. And so we only focused on what victory means to him. And I believe he's victorious. And okay. So, yeah.
Like I just said, I'd like you to share just several things about Lil Nas X that we think we don't know. Things
from
Lil
Nas. Let
it be an exclusive for the first time because we think you know more than us.
Things that you do not know about Lil Nas X is that he is one of the kindest humans that I know. Yeah. He is thoughtful. He is generous. He is cerebral. He is that's all I can tell you.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, family, like loves family and is thoughtful and considers all things, all sides, and fearless. I'm sure you can see that.
Fearless.
Fearless.
Oh, I think even isn't fearless. I think he isn't fearless.
You don't think he's fearless?
That guy isn't shy. He's just exposing things on social media and networks. He isn't shy. He isn't fearless. Yeah.
He is, yeah, he fears very little, is what I'm saying. He will attempt, that's when I say fearless, that's what I mean. He does not fear much. He will try. He believes in himself and that he's capable. And, you know, and that's the goal of my work for all the artists that I work with, you know. Yeah.
Then as a manager and a specialist in entertainment industry, what do you have to say about these murder cases? Most artists, especially rappers, are being shot to death. What is your take on this?
No, I'd rather not speak on that, you know, because I think it's a very tender time. So I'd much rather not speak on that.
Then you're in LA. There are too much mass shooting there. And you told me now you're in LA.
Yeah. Praying for the safety of everybody.
Let's conclude it by saying that what should be done exactly to end these incidents? PNB Rock was reportedly shot to death recently. We also saw
I don't think I want to speak on those things. No, that's not my. That's not what I want to speak on.
Thanks. I really appreciate the love you send, the support.
Thank you for your persistence and, you know, making sure that this happened, and just for, you know, knowing that there was something that I could contribute to what you were doing, and wanting to know how I've added value to people, and you know what I believe my journey is, although just still getting started. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate those that are listening. I have a book called The Rose Effect: 8 Steps to Delivering the Performance of Your Life, available now on Amazon. And so if you want to know any more else about how to have the heart of the performer, and what that looks like, and and how to be relentless and continue to move despite the challenges, how to push through the challenges. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So this book is for you. The Rose Effect.
You said it's ready. It's already out. It's already out.
Yep, it's already out. It's on Amazon.
Then I'm gonna get it. Then I'm gonna get it.
You have to get it. Yeah, it's Barnes and Noble. And the audiobook as well. The audiobook is out on Audible.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna tell all my friends and my followers that go and get this book of Kigiros.
Tell all your friends. Yeah, tell all your friends. And thank you so much for having me. Done. All right. Talk later.
Okay, I just sent you. Okay. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk soon.
Bye.
Okay. I got you.
I got it. All right.
Bye-bye.